Good evening, and welcome to another edition of the AGP Sportcast for today, Wednesday, the 26th of June. I'm Samuel Gillis. Thanks for joining us. We begin with some football news. Can the Golden Jaguars ink Guyana's first Gold Cup victory in their final group match happening now against the Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago? Stanford Howard tells us of the possibilities in this report.
Win or lose, the home side, according to Coach Johnson, has achieved what initially was set out to be accomplished, and that was to make this year's Gold Cup, and rightfully so, we did. Scoring 2 goals after a good first match against the USA despite losing 4-0, and a mixed fortune second game against Panama going down 4-2. Would there be a twist in the final group game? Win or lose, qualifying for this tournament for Guyana is a victory, with many opportunities that can be derived from this prestigious tournament. Speaking before the match, Johnson points that many teams had felt that because Guyana is a cricket-dominated nation, the local Jaguars were up a steep hill. But the national courts reassured that on any given day, the home side can disrupt the majority of the 16 teams playing in the Gold Cup.
International managers, many club managers which have spoke, and many fans as well which have spoke so refreshingly and open about how we've played, how at certain games we've been really unlucky to be out of the tie. And I think the ultimate one for me is now we are established as a footballing nation. You know, I've already fielded calls from certain international teams that we would never even envisage playing prior to this because they thought it was probably 9-10-0. What's the point in playing them? What they've realised is that on our day, we can play football and we can give majority of the teams in this Gold Cup an headache.
For HGP Sport, I am Stanford Howard.
The Cliff Anderson Sports Hall comes alive starting this weekend as action at the 2019 National Schools Basketball Festival begins. More from Jaden Samuels.
Aspiring young ballers from schools across the country will bring their skills to the table when the action gets going this Saturday. The Under-18 tournament will see schools battling for top honors when the final is contested on July 13. Following the traditional opening ceremony, the action begins at 14 hours with Bartica Secondary taking on Bishops High, while the second fixture brings together Kwakwani and Comprehensive Secondaries. Following those fixtures, 5 other matches will be played on the same day. The action will continue on July 1 with the quarterfinals and the girls' round-robin format, which bounces off on July 2 and concludes on July 4. Who will emerge victors? We will have to wait and see. Jaden Samuels, HGP Sport.
Hikers Generals routed YMCA top form in the men's division, while Saints defeated YMCA Bellatrix by a slim margin on night 2 of the Noble House Goals Galore Indoor Hockey Championships. More from Stanford Howard.
GCC Vintage chalked up their second win of the competition by defeating the YMCA Pace Setters 15-13. While Vintage enjoy a 5-goal handicap, they still need 6 goals just to draw even with the Pace Setters, with a handicap of 11 goals. Veteran Dwayne Scott and Alan Fernandez led the charge for Vintage, who made up the deficit before the end of the first half, and cruised to a victory in the second. In other results of the men's game, Pepsi Hikers defeated YMCA Champs by 21-12, and Hikers General defeated YMCA Top Form 9-7. The ladies' competition saw 2 close matches with the unbeaten GBTI GCC Spice, with a 0 handicap facing the Bingo Spartans with 5 goals from the opening whistle. The Tigers applied pressure on their junior opponents, and Daisy Woodruff opening penalty corner goal in the 5th minute signaled their intent to win. As Marcia Harding, rival and sister of Madiki, not to be outdone, nudged the GBTI ladies one step further with her field goal 2 minutes before lemon time. The highly contested match between the two undefeated sides saw their unbeaten record remain intact in a final score of 6 apiece. The Saints ladies with a 5-goal handicap took to the court for the first time in the other female matchup of the evening against the YMCA Bellatrix. With a 9-goal handicap, captain and national striker Keisha Delon led from the front for Saints, scoring a helmet trick and earning 4 goals for her side, while young speeder Charlie Webb added a single. The five unanswered goals, the last of which came in the final minute, saw Saints edge the Bellatrix by 10-9. For HGP Sport, I am Stanford Howard.
Chris Gayle has effected a surprise turnaround to his previous statements of retiring after the World Cup, saying his post-tournament plans included definitely playing a ODI series against India in August, as well as maybe another test match. More in this report. In February, Gayle 39 had declared the World Cup would end his 50-over career. A month later, after blasting the fastest half-century by a West Indies player to wrap up the triumphant ODI series against England, Gayle had declared that it was his last ODI series in the Caribbean. His comments in Manchester on the eve of the match against India seemed to have caught even his own teammates by surprise. Cricket West Indies was not aware of Gayle's plans post the World Cup. Even Jason Ola, West Indies captain, said at the media briefing that Gayle's revelation was news to him. My plans after the World Cup may be to play a test match against India, Gayle said on Wednesday, and then I'll definitely play the ODIs against India. I wouldn't play the T20s. Ola was surprised by Gayle's U-turn, but welcome it nonetheless. I just found out as well, Ola said, so I guess I'll have to go downstairs and have a serious conversation with him. But if he's dedicated to play for the West Indies any longer, then I feel it's definitely going to benefit us. India will travel to the Caribbean to play a full tour, which starts with 3-match T20 series, followed by a 3-match ODI series bookended by 2 test series, which ends in Jamaica, Gayle's home country. For HGP Sport, I am Samuel Gillis. Tickets for the India tour of the West Indies 2019, sponsored by My Team 11 and co-powered by Skoda, will go on sale to the public from Wednesday midnight East Caribbean time and will be available for 40 days until the start of the action between the two teams. Fans can get their tickets to all 8 matches for the tour, including 2 My Team 11 tests, which jumpstarts the team's participation in the ICC World Test Championship, and 2 My Team 11 T20 internationals in the United States via the Buy Ticket button on the West Indies website, www.westindiescricket.com. The first 2 T20 matches will take place on the weekend of August 3rd and 4th at the Broward County Stadium in the city of Lauderhill in the American state of Florida, with the third T20 being played at Providence at the National Gymnasium, Guyana on the 6th of August. The first ODI will take place at Providence, as well as August the 8th, and the last 2 in the Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago on the 11th and 14th of August. The final test series will be held in Antigua and Jamaica from the 22nd to the 27th of August, and from August the 30th to September the 3rd, respectively. Pakistan now moves up to 7 points after a close finish, beating New Zealand by 6 wickets and 5 balls to spare. Jaden Samuels tells us more.
What was looking like a defendable 237 turned out to be a remarkable chase down by Pakistan, securing 2 much-needed points as the World Cup approaches its qualification stage. For the Kiwis, James Neesham held his nerve to top scorer with 97, Colin de Grandhomme made 64, while Kane Williamson contributed 41. Leading the bowling attack for Pakistan, Shaheen Shah Afridi took 3 for 28 from his 10 overs. In reply, Babar Azam was unstoppable. He made 101 not out, while at the other end, Haris Sohail carved out a match-winning 68. Thursday's game will bring the Indians alongside the Caribbean side, who is still to find their way in this year's World Cup. With the thinnest of mathematical threads, the West Indies will have to win all 3 of the remaining games and hope that Pakistan lose their remaining 2 games to gain entry. Jaden Samuels, HGP Sport.
And finally, before we go, a quick word from the Golden Jaguars, currently playing against Trinidad, expressing their profound gratitude to the government and all Guyanese as the home team brings to an end an entertaining showpiece at this year's Gold Cup.
On behalf of the men's senior team, everybody connected with Guyana, just want to say how much we appreciate your kind gesture of supporting the programme. It really does go a long way to ensuring that we can do as best as we can to make the nation proud. So from the bottom of all our hearts, just one more time, thank you so, so much.
And that's all we have for this edition of the AGP Sportscast. I'm Samuel Gillis, reminding you that success is not an happening. It is a result. There is nothing mysterious about progressing. It is doing instead of doubting and working instead of wishing. Thank you.